Alright guys, welcome to the Crazy Flyer 175 channel. Today we're getting back into the Airbus. Gonna do a little more flying, getting used to, flying the Airbus. Today we're gonna fly from Detroit International out to Philadelphia, and pretty excited to do this flight. I practiced some takeoffs and landings yesterday. I think I'm more proficient. Hopefully we won't have any more hard landings in the Airbus, but I think we got it pretty much worked out. I didn't do very much preparation before this leg, so I still actually need to file, and actually I'll go back to the external view for you guys. We're going to be live on VATSIM. I don't think there's any ATC, but, you know, at least at the very least to get to practice that, and there might be some ATC by the time we get out to the East Coast, so I'm going to do that real quick. In fact, I'll pull up the release here because I'll be needing that while I am putting it into the XPilot program. So let's see, we are connected. We're going to go to flight plan. Today we are going from KDTW to KPHL, and our alternate on this flight plan, where are they sending us for the alternate? Kennedy, okay. KJFK. Departure time is gonna be 17:15 today. Estimated time and route, I believe it's gonna be on this page. Actually, no, I lied. It'll be on this page. 1 hour, 10 minutes from wheels up to wheels down. And our fuel available on the airplane will be 3 hours, 5 minutes. Cruising at, let's see here. There we go, 454 knots, flight level 350, 454, 35,000. There we go, and a route of flight today. It's going to be the Pavel 2 departure to SB, ESSBE, direct CXR, direct EWC, direct JST, and the Bunts 2 arrival into Philadelphia. Let's see, top climb, flight level 350, yep, we got that in there. Let's see, anything else we need? I think that's about it. So we're IFR, Detroit, Philly, Kennedy, it's the alternate. 17:15 departure, estimated time on route 1 hour, 10 minutes, 13:05, 454 knots, 35,000 feet. The Pavel 2 to SB, CXR, EWC, Johnstown, and the Bunts 2 wrap. I think that is everything. We'll go ahead and we'll put that on file. That is done. Okay. Cool. Let's go ahead. Let's hop into the airplane. It's cold and dark, so we gotta get it all started today. Let's see here. So I'm gonna pull up my checklist. Power on checklist. Engine master switches are off. Mode selectors are normal. Let's see, landing gear lever is up, flap lever matches the actual condition. Battery voltages, we're indicating 28 on each. Bats 1 and 2, come on. Let's see, parking brake is on. We do have brake pressure. APU fire test. Oh, I just realized something. I don't have the sound turned on for X-Plane, hang on. I was thinking it sounded rather uneventful when we turn stuff on. There we go. Yep, fire test is good. And AC power established. We got external power available. We'll just do that. Alright, we got the airplane all powered up. Let's get the displays brightened up. Upper and lower EQ. Let's brighten up the MCDUs. I wonder if this is an Airbus thing. So I was going to say, the airplane I fly and the Embraer, it is not part of our SOPs to dim the displays when we leave the airplane. I imagine that might be due to like older airplanes that have the CRT screens. It might be better for their longevity if they get reset. All right, here we're gonna run through our flows. Get the ADIRs online. Okay. Okay, and third one. Looks good. Let's see how we bring nav lights on. I don't think anything else there for now. We'll get the emergency lights armed. We actually are already fueled up. We'll go ahead and get those turned on. We'll keep fuel pumps off for now. Get all the radios turned on. There we go. Alright, everything's good on the overhead panel. We can turn the floodlights off. We really don't need those. Get the intake lights on. Okay, come across. I think we got everything else set. Just checking all the position of all the switches, make sure everything's in a normal position. That looks good. Alright, let's go ahead, let's get the MCDU start to be set up here. Let's see, and we don't need that right now. We want that though. Alright, we got a current database cycle in it. There we go. We're going from KDTW to Philly, KPHL. Let's see, so it looks like it should auto-fill our route for us. So we got SB, CXR, Elwood City, Johnstown. Doesn't have the SID or the star in there. We're going to put those in ourselves, but that looks good for now. We are operating today as Delta Airlines Flight 2432. Cost index for our flight today. I got us planned cost index 18. And cruising at 350. And we got an outside temperature. Let's see, it looks like minus 44, minus 45. Call it minus 45, that'd say it'd be the best. Just the average. Alright, 350 at 45,000 feet. We already got our weight balance numbers here. Our plane, I already set this up just prior to starting the stream. Let's see, zero fuel weight today is going to be 126,300. Come on. Work keyboard 126.3. And zero fuel weight CG is 29.6. And block fuel, we're going to pull this off the release. Alright, so minimum blocks 14.7. And ramp fuel, they give us some extra, which is 15.2. And I think we got a little more than that. We've actually got 15.6 on board. Actually, you know, with that extra fuel, let's go ahead and get the APU fired up a little early. That'll bring our fuel number a little more in line. If it's within 300 pounds, we don't have to notify dispatch or anything, at least per my company SOPs. I kind of, even though I don't fly this airplane in real life, I kind of fly it as if I'm operating under my company's SOPs. Let's see, taxi, that's good. Okay, and we'll go to perf now. Alright, that's good. We'll get the APU spinning now. Let's see. Don't need that. We want that though. And let's see. We got long runways here. Oh, it's not going to pull it up because I haven't finished the flight plan. That's right. So let's see. Departing out of Detroit. What is our weather doing to us today? Let's see, winds 230 at 9, 5 miles, haze, overcast 1100 feet, temperature 22 Celsius, 2.19 altimeter, 2994. And let's see, so departure, I'm going to say based on that, winds are out of the southwest, I think we'll be off runway 21 left. Or excuse me, yeah, 21 right would be our departure runway, based on those winds. Yeah, there we go. Because we're departing out to the east, so yeah, we'd want to come off the east runway, so yeah, it'll be 21 right departure for us today. Let's find that. 21 right. And we are on the Pavel. Is that what it was? There it is. And the SB transition, we'll insert that. Alright, so we got 21 right, out to Joylu, Jimmy, and W. Ward. We're going to brief that in a minute here. And then for the arrival in Philly, we're on the Bunts. Arrival. Bunts to the Johnstown. Those are approach transitions. There you go, Johnstown Transition, we'll insert that. Let's see, so we'll step through the flight plan here just real quick, make sure it's looking proper. Yeah, that's about what I'd expect it to look like. No discontinuities. Alright. Now we can do our takeoff performance calculations. We got long runways, we'll do flaps 1 departure today, 138. 143 and 145. It's going to be flaps 1 and trim is going to be down 0.1. Flexing 64. Okay, that all looks good. Climb, so this is where we got to look. I think we do have a speed restriction on our SID today out of Detroit here. Departure, it's the Pavel to... Yeah, so we got a general speed restriction, turbojet aircraft at or above 10,000 maintain 280 until directed by ATC. So we're going to go ahead and throw 280 into the pre-select for climb. So it'll maintain 250 up to 10,000, and then it'll transition, or it'll speed up 280 above 10,000 is what we want. We'll do managed cruise, managed ascent for now, and we'll worry about the approach performance when we get there. Let's see, got the AP going, bring AP bleeds online, that'll keep packs running. Disconnect from the ground power. Alright. So let's see, we got init A and B, perf, and plan. We don't need any radio navigation set up for this departure, it's an RNAV. So let's go ahead and brief our departure. Let's see, so first of all, we don't have any ATC online. I'm going to verify that right now. And then, because that'll affect the way we set this up here. By ATC, yeah, there's nothing close by. So it'll just be our own navigation today. Top altitude on the departure is 17,000 feet, as you can see right there. So clearance will just be flying the flight as filed. We're going to squawk 1200 on the transponder. So my departure here off runway 21 right. We climb on heading 216, intercepting a 185 course out to Joylu, and then on track 108 to Yimi at or below 7,000 feet, and then Hayward at or above 9,000 feet, going up to a top altitude of 17,000 feet. So FMS nav departure. Taxiing out of here, we already kind of talked about it. We'll probably plan on coming down here to Tango, and then we'll be joining Papa, cross the runway there, and then all the way up to the end, runway 21 right. pretty simple taxi out for us today. And I think that is pretty much all I got on the departure. If we have an engine failure off runway 21, let's just confirm that down here on our runway analysis pages. Alright, so off runway 21, right, direct track 216. So just straight off with it. And yeah, that is all I've got for the brief. Let's go ahead, run our checklist, and we'll be on our way, guys. I think we're going to have an on-time departure today, maybe in a few minutes early. Alright, before start checklist. Actually, hang on, I got to write a couple of quick numbers down. Let's see, back to charts. Detroit, Philly. Get my fuel numbers written down for my checklist today. Alright, so it's 15.2 planned. 15.2, and our minute takeoff is 14.2. Alright, there we go. Now we're ready for the checklist. Before start, ramp fuel, we got 15.2 planned, and we have 15.5 on board. ADIRs are set to nav. Exterior lights are set. ECS panel set. Fuel panel set. Oh, engine fire test was not yet completed. Alright, engine fire tests are completed. NDs and terrain on ND is set as required. We'll go back to arc mode on that one. Let's see. Anti-skid nose wheel steering is on. Switching panel is all normal. MCDU init A and B are set. MCDU flight plan is complete. MCDU perf is set. MCDU rad nav is set, and departure briefing is complete. And fourth start checklist to the line is complete. Alright, guys, we are all done with the pre-flight preparation. As soon as they get everybody loaded up, we'll start closing the doors. Actually, we was just told they're done loading cargo, so they're going to close up our cargo doors for us. Cargo doors closed up there. Alright, is everybody loaded back there? Alright, if all passengers on board, you're cleared close. Oops. We'll leave that door open until they get the main cabin door closed. Alright, everybody's on board, so it looks like we're going to have an early departure today, guys. That's nice. Alright, we'll see you guys in Philadelphia. Alright, that door is closed. Bring the beacon lights on. We got our shoulder harnesses on. We got doors all closed. Slides are armed. Very good. Alright, we'll go ahead and tell our pushback crew that we're ready to go.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Rocking the CFM engines today on the Delta A319. I don't think they have any IAE engines in their fleet, as far as I know. I feel like I always see them with the old.
Okay, all doors
CFM
and hatches
engines.
are closed. Ready to connect.
Alright, you guys clear to connect.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Okay, guys, brakes off, steers off, clear to push.
Starting pushback. And you may start engines.
Roger. Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead, we had a little bit of a long taxi today. I think we'll plan just to go out on one engine, but we're going to go ahead and start engine 1.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Okay guys, park brake is set, you're clear for the disconnect.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Track IR set up.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Take care. Ah, there's the tug pulling away. I believe this type has no strap, no tow bar. Yep. Can you get out and give us a salute? Yep, looks like it. Alright. Got a good start, took tone a wave. Let's see, we got all that set up. Oh, we never did below the line. Doors, windows are closed, locked, shoulder harness on, cell phones are off, beacons on, transponder is now set to TARA. Let's see, and our pitch train. Controls. We're not going to test our flight controls yet because we don't have the other engine started yet, but we're going to go ahead and set our pitch trim as 0.1 down, if I recall properly. Yeah, 0.1 down. Okay. After start checklist, engine mode selector is normal, speed brakes are armed, rudder trim is 0. Flaps lever set 1, pitch trim set 0.1 nose down, anti-ice, engine off, wing off, and after start checklist is complete. Let's see, are we on the CTAF? Yeah, we are. And it looks like we're in Detroit traffic. Delta 2432 is going to be taxiing in from the ramp to runway 21 right, Detroit. Alright, looks good. So we're going to come out here be a left on Tango. We're going to join Papa all the way up to the end, or we're going to our right. Wheel steering wasn't behaving. So this is a little bit of a longer taxi, but it's not extremely long. So what I did is I left our APU running, so that way we don't have to do a cross-bleed start, but we do save a little bit of fuel just by delaying our second engine start here a few minutes. 2 engines at idle is going to burn more fuel than 1 engine and the APU. So every little bit of fuel we save definitely helps. It gives us more fuel. Excuse me, I had an inch down on my leg there. Gives us more fuel to work with on the flight, as well as obviously saving fuel in general, which is good. So we like to do that. Once we get out here, established on taxiway Papa, and we get a little up the taxiway a little ways, we'll go ahead and start that second engine while we're taxiing out. Alright, clear right, clear left. We're going to be not left here. It's the next taxiway. We're going to make a left up here. Our turn right here. Left turn, Papa. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and get that second engine started. Looks like engine 2 has a good start. Bring that back over to normal. Go ahead and bring the APU down now. Alright, and with a good start, go to our flight controls page. Check the flight controls, ailerons, elevator, and rudder. Alright, so here's an interesting situation. Apparently, this taxiway exists in real life. It does not exist here in X-Plane. So we're changing plans. We're going to come over here. We're gonna cross runway. We'll go up Mike to the end for runway 21 right. Apparently that's a new taxiway within the last few years. It does not exist in X-Plane. It's good to know. Alright. Detroit traffic. Delta 2432 be crossing 21 right. Then we'll taxi via Mike to the end of 21 right for departure, Detroit. So we're just crossing the runway real quick. I don't see anybody out there. Right turn on Mike. Alright, so now we got the engines going, we can go ahead and do our taxi checklist. Let's see, they're secure in the back. Check takeoff config. Alright, now we're ready. Taxi checklist, APU bleed is off, APU is off, flight control is checked, auto brake set max. Takeoff config checked, cabin is secured, takeoff memo all green. We're gonna hang on. Crossing 27, clear left, clear right, clear to cross. Our strobes on while we're heading across the runway, make yourself visible. There we go. Alright, and across the runway here, alright, so takeoff memo is all green, brake temps is the last thing. Brake temps look good, and taxi checklist stays complete. You guys ready to go to Philly? I'm ready. About to be on the runway, so we're self-clearing for takeoff. We'll get all the lights on. Alright. And before takeoff checklist, min fuel verify. 14.2 is required. We got 15.2 on board. Transponder is TA, RA, FMA, set nav and climb. And runway verify. We got 21 right. I see a 21 right painted right there in big red letters. And before takeoff checklist is complete. Let's go flying, guys. Right. Here we go. Start getting the engine spooled up here. the autopilot on. Climb selected. Flaps up. And after takeoff checklist, landing gear is up, flaps are up, APU is off, anti-ice is not required after takeoff checklist is clear. So I gotta watch here, put it manual 280. I'm hoping it's gonna actually catch 250 here. I don't think it's going to though. We're gonna go ahead, let's put it into managed mode here. 250. It's got to make sure to take 280. I'm not sure the proper way to set that up on the MCDU here in the Airbus. I'll have to look into that a little bit. How to set up a speed restriction for said British departure. Alright, we're 6,000 feet. You can see here in magenta we got 7,000 because that's the altitude constraint we have at Yumi. At or below 7,000 feet. So the airplane will level us off at 7,000 feet. So we need that restriction. As we cross Yumi, you'll see the airplane begin its climb once again. Oh, I guess we got Hayward at or below 9. That's good. It's at or above. It's at or below 9. Makes sense. And then Silva's at or above 4. The reason that Detroit has departures like this that have these level off altitudes, they've got arrivals that actually kind of come right over top of here, at a little bit higher altitude, so they limit the departures to stay below a certain altitude, the arrivals above a certain altitude. It's kind of like an overpass, basically, like a freeway overpass. The arriving traffic go over top of the departures. Alright, there we pass Yumi, so you can see the airplane's gone back into climb mode. So it's going to climb us up now to 9,000 feet, and it'll maintain 9,000 until we get past Hayward here. Looks like it might just do a brief level off. Actually, the symbol disappears. So I think it's going to be just below 9,000 feet as we cross Hayward, and it'll just continue that climb. And I'll ride on up to 17,000 feet. It's the top altitude on departure. Crossed Hayward. So we're past climb restriction, so it's just continuing to climb now. All the way up to 17 is what we got set. And since we don't have any ATC, we're going to go ahead and we'll just go up to 350 now. 35,000 feet is set. Then I'm curious to see here, passing 10,000 feet, is it going to go to the 280 or is it going to go to managed mode? It still has a constraint for the rest of the departure here. Actually, it looks like it will. It says it's going to maintain 279. It's got the little purple asterisk there indicating there is a constraint. Well, actually, no, that's related to the altitude constraint, so never mind that line. But it is setting up 280 though. It's more or less doing what we want it to do for the departure. At this point, I'd go ahead and we'll put it in the management, just make sure it meets the climb restrictions. I think I made set managed mode. It's in selected mode. So 280 knots. About 10,000 feet now, though. We'll go ahead and get the lights turned off on the outside of the airplane. Give them the double ding on the panel there. That way the flight attendants know we're above 10,000 feet and they can start their service. About this point in real life, generally they've given me normal speed, so at this point we'll go ahead and just do normal speed back into FMS managed mode. I've never tried this expedite feature. So this is something that in real life, occasionally you'll get a clearance like, climb maintain flight level 350, expedite through flight level 210. The reason they do that is because there might be some conflicting traffic. They're basically telling you to go up fast so we can get you above this traffic in front of you. I've never tried this in Airbus. I'm just kind of curious here. I'm not sure how you would go about activating that. Maybe it's not actually something useful. Again, there's a lot about this FMS I still do not know. I'm still learning. Go ahead and get a couple of flyby shots. I'm gonna go ahead and turn down the volume just so it don't blast our eardrums, but check out this beautiful Airbus 319. Watch your ears, we're going to go external view kind of fixed and in place. good looking airplane. This livery is by Christoph T. I think was the author of the livery. It is available on xplane.org. It is available for free. So I do start another 4 days of work starting tomorrow morning. Be going out. It's a pretty short trip. It's two-day trips back to back. I'll be out in Greensboro and then overnighting in LaGuardia tomorrow. Well, in New York near LaGuardia. And the next day hit Indy and Philadelphia. Then I go home. I started another trip the day after. I actually end up in Kansas City for the overnight. Again, going out of LaGuardia and then a flight out of Boston as well. So, pretty excited for this trip. Should be a couple of pretty good days. Thankfully, both these two trips, it's nothing really too early or too late. Tomorrow morning is kind of early. It's got to be to work about 6:15 in the morning, which means I got to wake up I don't know, a little after 4 in order to get there on time. But that's definitely, you know, doable compared to some of the early mornings I've done. I had a couple of 4 a.m. show times, you know, over this last summer, meaning I had to be at work at 4 a.m. and that always kind of sucks. That means I'm up at 2 a.m. Obviously a very early morning, but this is the life of a professional pilot sometimes. You gotta be up early and you gotta be up late sometimes. But yeah, other than that though, pretty nice, easy days. Nothing past about 10 p.m. at night on the latest. When you start getting those really early mornings, especially if it's really early mornings a couple of days later or really late night, man, it sure disrupts your circadian rhythm. Starting to pick up some light chop here through about 280, so it ends up being too rough. Yeah, maybe we'll try coming down here at lower altitude. Did a flight yesterday from Chicago to, where did we go? Into LaGuardia yesterday, and man, it was sure a bumpy ride here in the sim. Probably what would have been in real life too. I think it's going. It's really not too bad right now. I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna try getting the seatbelt sign off. Just a few minutes, give people a little bit of a chance to use the lab. We gotta be careful here. It might start getting bumpy as we get up these higher altitudes. Gonna start looking up our charts for Philly. And turbulence is already getting worse. We're starting to rock around a bit. Should have turned that seatbelt sign off a few minutes ago when it was relatively smooth. Alright, so latest weather in Philly. Winds are out of the north, surprisingly. 10 miles visibility, few clouds, 5,000 scattered at 30. Temperature 240.16, altimeter 2998. Not a bad day. Mostly clear skies, good visibility looks like. A little bit of crosswind for us though. It's the runway Philly run east-west, so we'll definitely have 12 knots of crosswind either way. But that's nothing this airplane shouldn't be able to handle. So go ahead, we'll close all our Detroit charts. We're done with those now. Alright, so let's see, for Philly, we'll pull up the gate diagram and the airport diagram. And we're going to look up the Bunts arrival. There it is, the Bunts 2 arrival. That is for aircraft capable of 250 knots or greater. Should have no problem with that. So we're doing the Johnstown Transition, so we join out here, fly past all these fixes. Really only one altitude for the Bunts at 8,000. Let's see, so in this 360, I'm going to take a quick look at the VAT Spy program. And I'm just going to see if there's anybody inbound Philly at the moment. In fact, it looks like there are 3 airplanes in front of us heading into Philly. So I'm going to watch them over the next couple of minutes. We're going to see what direction they end up going. Follow suit. Yeah, so I got a British and 2 Americans currently inbound Philly. Looks like I got 1 departure coming up out of Philly as well. Yeah, that turbulence picking up. Unfortunately, you gotta kick that seatbelt sign back on. I was hoping for a smoother ride today. It seems smoother down lower, so maybe we'll head down the lower altitude here, or start an early descent down the road a little bit. So if we can find some smooth air, it should be nice. But it's definitely not looking too smooth up here at altitude. So looking at the arrival, we did have 1 altitude to expect Bunts at 8,000 feet. And it's an expect altitude, which means it's probably not automatically brought in as a constraint. So what we're going to do, we're going to come here to our flight plan, scroll on down until we find Bunts. So here's Bunts, and we're going to set up 8,000 feet. Has an altitude constraint there at Bunts. Look at the flight plan, confirm it, and it looks proper, and we'll insert. And so now as we look at Bunts on the navigation display here, we should see that constraint, and you can see it there. Let me go back to this page here. You can see there we got Bunts at 8,000 feet now as constraint. which also means it should set up a top of descent for us somewhere along our route. Take a look there and see where that's gonna be at. Actually, I don't know what it's drawing it yet. Maybe you gotta be in arc mode. Yeah, I can see there. Just past Kofax there, you see that little arrow that starts pointing down. That's our top of descent point. Like I said, we may start an early descent, see if we can get down to maybe, back down to maybe flight level 270 or 250. Find some SME there for just a couple of minutes for the sake of the passengers' comfort. Sometimes on days like this, you just can't find SME there no matter what you try, but that's the way it goes. Let's see, so I'm looking back over here at Bat's file for that inbound traffic to Philly. And let's see if anybody's kind of chosen direction. Looks like British is going to set up to land to the west. By the looks of things. Can't tell what the two Americans are doing yet. Looks like they're still on the arrival. Yeah, British Airways looks like he's getting set up for runway probably 27 right. Oh, it's kind of hard to tell though. I mean, British might just be on arrival as well, so. Remains to be determined, I suppose. So one cool thing about this livery that Christoph T did, as you can see, he actually put some like textures for the seats. Made them like that blue color, put the Delta logo on it. Obviously this cabin, you know, it's only a one class setup. In real life, Delta Airbus 319 would be two, well actually three class kind of. So you got first class, and then you'd have a bulkhead, then you'd have a few like the Comfort Plus, and then just regular economy seats towards the back. But obviously they don't have this Airbus model quite like that, but it is cool to me though. I do love the fact that he's put that little detail in to change the textures of the seats, make them look like Delta seats. Very, very good work on the Airbus. I never realized how like small that lavatory is. I guess they don't have lavatories modeled in the airplane, do they? Kind of cool how you can just you sort of hear the sound change as you walk through the cabin. Toward the back of the cabin, you get a little more of that rumble from the exhaust side of the engines. Let's see, are these modeled at all? Nope. Yeah, definitely some light chop with some light turbulence for the right conditions once again up here in the mid-flight levels. We're just really kind of getting tossed around up here. I'm gonna go ahead, let's try a lower flight level. Let's get down like 310, see if we can find any more of a decent ride. Obviously in real life you'd have to coordinate that with air traffic control. We are in Ascent, we don't have any ATC currently where we're at, so. Let's do that. Let's see, what's British doing? Alright, so we had another American launch out of Philly to the west, or he launched off the 9, so he launched eastbound, looks like. British looks like he's setting up to land to the west though. So I don't know. I still don't know what the general direction of traffic flow is at this point for Philly. See what these guys are doing. Not a lot of ATC on today, actually. I guess Denver Center opened up. Could have flown out west. And LA Center opened up. Heck, I should have flown out there today. We would have had some ATC to work with. The only thing out east, I guess Boston's open. That's the only ATC facility in the eastern U.S. today. For right now, at least. So red does not seem to be improving through flight level 330. Hopefully 310 maybe give us a little smoother ride. Like I said, we started picking up the chopper right around flight level 280. So I don't know, maybe we'll continue down. We've got the fuel for it. So we got the alternate fuel for Kennedy, but we're really not going to need that today. At least based on the weather, even if we had, if we really had to bug out, we could go pretty far. We took off pretty well above the min too. So, I mean, that gives us another extra 1,000 pounds basically right there to work with. The fact that we were 1,000 pounds above min. So obviously, we're gonna burn more fuel as we descend to a lower altitude. Try to get out of the turbulence. So yeah, we also had, we had 3.5 for reserve and our alternate of 2.9. So no matter what, we gotta leave that fuel untouched. But we had extra fuel at the gate. We had 300 pounds extra, so that gives us 300 pounds there to work with. And then we've also got contingency fuel somewhere in here. Oh yeah, we've got 15 minutes of extra fuel added by dispatch for contingency, plus the 500 pounds of extra. So yeah, we've got fuel that we can burn at a lower altitude to try to get a smoother ride. Yeah, it's still pretty choppy here at 310. Let's go ahead, let's put 290 on request and we'll head on down there. I think we're going to probably have to get down to 27 for any hope of a smooth ride based on the way it was feeling when we climbed up out of here. What are the winds doing? That's kind of the other wow factor. I don't really think it's the wind so much though. It's, you know, just frontal systems and general instability caused by the change in seasons. We'll take a look here. We're going to get the release. Look at our wind chart. Well, it is a little bit calmer. It's 50 knots up at our scheduled cruise. I mean, I guess we're here by about this point, so I don't know. It's maybe 10 knots less wind down there. Maybe it'll be a little less turbulent. We won't go any lower than 250 until we're ready for the top of the sun. Let's take a look at that spot here. Alright, so British is for sure landing to the west, and it looks like the first American's also setting up for runway 27 now. So, okay, so they're landing to the west. So based on that, we're going to go ahead, we'll start planning our arrival, and we'll plan runway 27 right. So Philly, arrival. Now, our terminal arrival procedure does not have any transitions based on runways. It just goes to bunts at the end. So that's easy for us. Really the only thing we have to worry about setting up is the approach. We don't have to like reload the transition. So ILS 27 right. We don't need to reload the flight plan. We do need to pull up the chart though for our approach. ILS 27 right. There we go. Alright, so here's the ILS 27 right. So I'm planning, we don't really have any transition going on. I'm just going to go ahead, I'll load NZU just so we have all the waypoints on the final approach course. NZU, and let's see, let's just look at that, make sure everything's intact. So we still got, I'll put a discontinuity in there, we'll fix that here in a minute. But otherwise, it still has the arrival going down to bunts. We'll have to re-enter our altitude constraint at bunts. Everything else looks good though. You got the approach with the missed approach out to Modena. We'll activate that. It's going to make us go into heading just briefly to do that. Insert. And then we'll go back direct to, we're still direct to Johnstown. There we go. And then we can go back into FMS mode. Okay, that worked. And we'll go ahead and start setting up our perf for landing. So I'll be landing runway 27 right. Pretty good sized runway. Our gate, however, is over here on the D concourse. So it would be best if we can make it off at November, which is pretty short. If not, then maybe Kilo 4. In real life, they're doing construction here. I don't know. I don't think that's modeled at all in X-Plane, obviously, though. So we'll play November Kilo 4 for our exit point. So based on that, we'll do a flaps full landing. Alright, QNH for Philadelphia is 2998. Oops. Alright, fine, we'll just click it. There we go, 2998. Temperature 24 Celsius. Magnetic wind is 360 at 12. pretty much direct crossing in the forest lane on 27. The approach, alright, we're full there, and then our MDA, which is actually our DA on the approach, is going to be 211, round up, call it 220. We always round up to the nearest 10 feet. And that is set, so that'll be 138, the approach. Ride's not really a whole lot better here. Let's go down to 250 and try that. See if we can get some decent rides. Oh yeah, and I forgot we gotta put our altitude constraint back in here at bunts at 8,000 feet. Alright, bunts at 8,000 is in there. Looks good. Activate. And now you can see here on the ND we've got bunts at 8,000 feet. There, you can see there, American 378 said he's overhead on the city. He's on the Bojid. Which actually, honestly, in real life, if you had filed the Bunts Arrival, they would actually probably switch you to the Bojid, because it's got a lot of the same waypoints. I think the Bojid Arrival actually had bunts in it. But the Bojid actually has transitions for the runways, so it would actually, the Arrival itself would have waypoints that would put you on downwind for the runway. But I don't feel like doing that. We've already got it set up with the Bunts Arrival, and we're just doing own navigation since we don't have any live ATC right now today anyways. So that'll work. Alright, British is on the ground. American 811's just about to turn base, and 378's over bunts. He's about set up on downwind for 27. Ride definitely seems to be improving somewhat as we get down here. We're still getting a little bit of light chop, but that's pretty much it though. It's not really a light turbulence. In fact, it really almost looks smooth, you know, looking at the wingtips there. Once we get some smooth air for a minute, we'll go ahead and we'll cut the passengers loose off the seatbelt. Give them at least a couple of minutes if they need to use facilities or anything like that. Yeah, so it is kind of what I observed, you know. That kind of shows you, you know, it's worth observing kind of how the ride is during the climb, because maybe there might be certain altitudes that are pretty smooth. Obviously, as you travel different places, it'll change to some degree, but it seems like coming down here to flight level 250, even if it's at least for a few minutes, it'll definitely give us a better ride. So, burn a little bit of extra gas to do it, a little bit extra fuel. But in my opinion, I think it's worth the trade-off. there's flight level 250. Let it sit here for a minute. What we'll do is we'll set 8,000 feet in here for bunts. We got 8,000 feet set. And we're not quite to our top of descent yet. You can see here the vertical deviation, we're still negative, meaning that the descent profile to get us bunts at 8 is still above us. So we'll wait a couple of minutes. Once that's a little closer, we'll begin the descent. Finally, kind of found some clear skies, at least here. These mountain ranges are always super cool to fly over. You can see they're just like almost perfectly straight lines, you know, these ridge lines, and when the light hits it just right, it's pretty cool. It's also kind of cool. I've had mornings where down in the valleys you'll sometimes get fog, but the ridge lines will show through, so you just see like these areas of fog, and then a ridge line, and then another area of fog. It just looks so cool when you get to see that kind of stuff. I think this is somewhere over West Virginia, if I remember right. It might be Pennsylvania, actually. Yeah, we're in Pennsylvania. But these mountains you can see here, they do extend down into West Virginia. So one pro tip, anytime that I either deadheading or non-revenue traveling, if I can get a choice seat, I'll usually try to volunteer for the exit row, because usually you get a lot more leg room, which is a lot nice. Downside on the Airbus is you get a smaller window, but I'll trade the window for the leg room. I'll oftentimes try to do that. Some gate agents are really good. Like, oftentimes if they see crew members that are, you know, deadheading on a flight, meaning the company's just repositioning us, so we're riding like passengers in the back. Oftentimes gate agents will assign us to the exit row, so they know that generally we as crew members like it, so we get more leg room. And then if something were to happen, you know, it's nicer to have people there who kind of know what they're doing, rather than just some passengers who probably don't read the safety card when they actually sit in the exit row either. Alright, let's see. We're getting pretty close to our top of descent. You can see here on the map where that little like zigzag line is. That's where we'll begin the top of descent. That's where we like intercept this course, so to speak, the vertical track. If anybody in the chat knows what that's called, let me know. So I'm not an Airbus guy, so I just call it the squiggly line. I guess on an intercept point or something like that. Probably got some kind of fancy term. Yeah, it's funny, you know, as you switch between different aircraft manufacturers, you kind of find certain, you know, certain ones do things certain ways, like, and that's even true reading the manual, like the way certain things are phrased or what they're called. You know, the airplane I fly is made in Brazil, and you know, you can kind of tell that sometimes, like what they call certain things, you know, labels and placards on the airplane. Alright, there's that little green dot coming down the altitude there. We'll go into managed descent here. Should just follow our track for us. Alright, and I don't think we ever actually, we need to brief our approach as well. We kind of got it in the box, but we never actually briefed it. So 11-8, there we go. We're going to fly the ILS 278. Approach 11-8. IPDP is going to be 108.95 and 268, so we'll go to RadNav. I still have never tested to see if this auto-tunes, but out of an abundance of caution, we're just going to hard tune it. So it's 108.95. It does show it down here, which is nice, in case I forget. 108.95. There we go. And approach course is going to be 268. Set that both sides. Let's see. Jalto is the final approach fixed at 2,100 feet. DEA, we have 220 bugged in the airplane for us. Touchdown zone elevation is going to be 11 feet. MSA around Woodstown VOR is 2,600 feet. In case we have to do a published missed approach, climb to 1,500 feet and then a climbing right turn to 3,000 feet inbound on the Modena 115 to the Modena VOR and hold. He means required VGSI and unclassified path not coincident. Malsar and Pappy left-hand side for the other runway, 27 left for our runway on 27 right. We also have Malsars, they probably won't be turned on, but a Pappy to the left-hand side, we'll look for that. 2,400 RVR is required. We got mostly clear skies and good visibility down there, so we'll have no problem. After landing, it's going to be our right-hand turn off. Like I said, we're going to try to make November or Kilo 4. We're parking over here at the D gates. That's where we're going to be parking at gate number Delta 10. So that'd be D10 right there. Kind of just on the end of that decon course there. Spot 9 entry into the ramp. And that's all I got for the approach briefing. Altimeter is, let's see, we could refresh this, there might actually be new data, 2997. Ooh, winds picked up 360 at 9 gust 19 now. A little bit gusty. A little bit of gusty crosswind. And 2997 is the altimeter. This put my landing skills to the test for the Airbus. After, I mean, a borderline hard landing yesterday in LaGuardia. This runway is longer, so I can take my time and grease it a little bit. But I practiced like 7 or 8 landings and takeoffs. I actually, in the sim, I just did some touch and goes with the Airbus. Kind of finesse my handling of the, you know, fly-by-wire and stuff like that. How the airplane handles on short final. I got some really good landings, so I'm hoping I can do it today as well. Alright, let's see. The other American's already landed. American 378's on final now for 27 right. And we're coming in on the downwind. And there's not any other traffic for us to contend with coming into Philly, so that's good. Alright, passing through the transition level 2997. Is set. And we go ahead and run our descent checklist. We get pulled up here. I'm just pulling it up on my phone. Descent checklist. Fast belt sign. We'll go ahead and bring that back on. Forgot to do that. Fastball sign on altimeter is 2997 is set. ND and terrain on the ND is set as desired. MCD flight plan is set. MCD radnav is set. Landing berth is set. Approach briefing is complete. Descent checklist is complete. Probably start getting a little choppy again here as you come through the cloud layers. Here's a little bit of turbulence you guys can kind of see. Starting to rock around a little bit. Not very choppy, it's kind of maybe some wind shift. Oh yeah, auto brakes. We'll do a low auto brake. So what we'll do after we pass Bunce intersection is, so here's our airport here, you can see Bunce here. So in real life they'd give you radar vectors from this point and have you, you know, finish, or they'd set you up on the approach. So what we'll do, we're just doing O navigation. After Bunce we'll fly like a 100 heading, which is to the east, but it'll bring us just slightly closer in towards our final approach fix, because we're actually several miles separated here, as you can see from like the center line of the runway where Bunce is. So we'll do about a 100 heading. That'll set us up out here, and then turn back around. We'll line up on the approach, and then we'll fly on in to into Philly. ILS 278. There you can see the airplane's leveling us here at 10,000 feet. It's going to make its deceleration to 250 knots, and then it'll resume the descent for bunks at 8,000 feet. And through 10,000 feet, we'll go ahead and light up the airplane. Alright, there's 8,000 feet of bunts, so we're going to go ahead and put it in heading mode. We'll fly about at 100 heading. Philadelphia traffic, Delta 2432 is over bunts, 8,000 feet. We'll be setting up on a right-hand downwind for the ILS 27 right, Philadelphia. Make a radio call there on Batson. Anybody else coming in? There's somebody coming from the south. How far out are they? They're pretty far south. Very far south. Oh, they're coming out of Florida somewhere. Is that another Delta guy? Yeah, sure is. Coming out of Orlando. Oh, he's going to Kennedy. That's not the right guy. Oh, they're just about to depart Orlando. It's American 565. Hasn't departed yet, though. But yeah, nobody else really that we need to contend with. Let's go ahead and we'll make it set down to 4,000 feet. Actually, we'll go ahead. We'll just do open descent 4,000 feet. I'll just bring the thrust lever. The autopilot will bring the throttle or thrust levers. Well, not the thrust levers. But we'll bring the thrust back to idle, and it'll pitch to maintain 250 knots. Airport's going to be somewhere out here. It's like right here. A little bit hazy, but still generally good visibility. So let's see, Johnstown's our final approach fix. Rather than going all the way out here to Enzu, what we'll do is I'm just going to draw we'll draw an intercept course here off Jalto. This is something else I practice, so I know how to do it now, which is awesome. So we'll go direct. We're gonna select Jalto, but rather than doing direct to radial in, so remember radial is always from a fix. This is what kind of threw me off. Because the airplane I do, we just put in our course 2 that we want to intercept. But so it's final approach course 268. We have to put in the reciprocal, which would be 088. Radial in, insert. And so now, as we look at the navigation display, make sure we're still in heading. You can see here, drew this green line. It goes to Jalto at 2,100 feet. So that's the reason that we did that. In fact, it even kind of already has an intercept drawn for us. We're going to actually fly a little more of a downwind, and then we'll make a base turn in a few miles, probably just about 3 or 4 miles outside of Jalto. We'll turn perpendicular to the line of right base, and then the airplane will intercept for us to that Jalto waypoint. Which
Philadelphia traffic, Pacific 3571, taxi to runway 35 for departure via Kilo Lima Echo. Philadelphia traffic.
Airport should be off the right somewhere. There it is right there, in fact, yeah. Philadelphia traffic, Delta 2432 is on a wide right downwind, runway 27 right. We'll be intercepting and flying the ILS 27 right, Philadelphia. Alright, so there we're just about past Jalto off the right-hand wing. We'll zoom in a little bit. As soon as Jalto's off the right-hand wing, we'll start turning in towards the base leg. Let's see, our intercept altitude at Jalto was 2,100 feet. Okay. Alright, so about here we got Jalto behind the right wing now. We're going to go ahead and make a right hand turn, 180. We got to keep in mind, we got to time our arrival with the departure here out of Philadelphia. Descend and maintain 2,100 feet. Oh, there it is. Yeah, let's do open descent. Actually, maybe we'll keep it a little bit wider for now. Perfect. Get the airplane started slowing down. Do some speed brake. Actually, I packed myself in here pretty tight. Start getting this slowed down. Philadelphia traffic, Delta 2432 is on about a 10-mile right base, runway 27 right, Philadelphia. Alright, below flap speed, we'll go flaps 1. That'll help get some drag out there. We are below the glide slope at least. So this right here, we'll go ahead and make a right hand turn now. 190. The airplane will intercept our final approach course. As soon as it intercepts, we'll arm approach by hitting the approach button over here, and that should set us up pretty nicely. The airplane should line itself up with the runway. Alright, we're good now. We can track those speed brakes. Make a little bit of right-hand turn. Just has a little shallower intercept angle. Alright, yeah, we're in good shape energy-wise. So you can see down here, bottom right corner, 10 miles to the runway, or to the, well, I guess the localizer antenna. And yeah, we're at 180 knots. It's about exactly where I'd want to be speed-wise. Philadelphia traffic, Delta 2432 joining final, 10-mile final on the ILS 27 right, Philadelphia. Alright, there you see it switched over to nav mode, so it's making the turn now to intercept our runway. As soon as it's established on that course, we're going to hit that approach button. It's made the turn, overshot it just a tiny bit actually. Looks like it's recovering nicely. Alright, arming up approach, let's go flaps 2. That'll automatically bring our speed back down here towards like 150, it looks like is what's got bugged. Slope intercept, gear down. Alright, we got the localizer, glide slope active, and in case we go missed, it was, what altitude? 3,000 feet. 3,000 is set in case of a missed approach. Flaps 3. Philadelphia approach Delta 2432, 5-mile final, 27 right, Philadelphia.
Philadelphia traffic, Pacific 7571, line up and wait, runway 35 for landing traffic.
Thank you. Alright, we got that set. And flaps full, landing checklist. Where did my checklist go? Landing checklist, cabin secure, landing gear down, 3 green. Flaps set full. Landing memo all green. Landing checklist is complete. We'll let the autopilot take it down a little bit lower. We'll disconnect about 500 feet. Alright, coming up on 500 feet, stable, and landing. We'll go ahead and take the autopilot here. Well, you can see that wind, it's a little gusty, it's pushing us around a little bit. Turn my track IR on too. There we go. Alright, here comes the autopilot.
100 above.
This will be a test for me. See how well my landing skills really are on the Airbus. Keep stable. Don't get high. Don't get high.
50, 40, 30, 20, retard, 10.
Yeah, a little firm, but not hard at least. That was a decent landing.
Philadelphia traffic Pacific 7571, taking off runway 35 via right turn direct cruise, then on course, climb to 11,000 IFR to Newark, Philadelphia traffic.
And Philadelphia traffic Delta 2432 is clear of 27 right, Philly. Alright guys, welcome to Philadelphia. How's better? Getting the hang of the Airbus a little bit more now. We'll make the right hand turn here. And after landing checklist. Flap lever 0, speed brakes disarmed, and AP start. Half landing checklist complete. Pretty good to make Kilo 4. Didn't quite make November. I was trying to keep the brakes. I guess it's just kind of this airplane, but you can already see we got a hot brake on the one side. I don't know if that's just a regular thing or if it's just my landing technique, but I always tend to get hot brakes in the Airbus. Yeah, APU. That's open now. The flap's open now. It's starting. All right, here we go. Entering the ramp, spot 9. Parking, what did they say it was? Delta 10. It's kind of on the corner here. Yeah. Clear left, clear right. Easy there, baggage loader. Airplanes get right away. Vehicles in this sim tend not to see that. Alright, here we go. Delta 10. We'll be on the Bravo line, probably. Alright, park brake is set. Alright, and parking checklist. Park brake is on, anti-ice off, engine master switch is off, beacon light off, fuel pumps need to come off. And parking checklist is complete. Welcome to Philadelphia, guys. We made it. Didn't have a hard landing. That's good. We're making progress. Honestly, considering how gusty it was, I'd say that landing was at least halfway decent. I'll get the doors starting to open here. And yeah. I'll pull the jet bridge up, and we have made it to Philadelphia. Get the cockpit door unlocked. I'm off track IR now. Hey Tina, where's my Sprite? Just kidding. Us pilots can be so, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a good term. We like to complain. Alright, well, I think that'll do it for us on our stream today, guys. Thank you so much for following along with the flight from Detroit to Philadelphia. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to follow. This video may come out later on YouTube, and if it does, be sure to like, subscribe. I do appreciate it. Lets me know what videos you guys like the most, and I can produce more of that content. Either way, we'll see you next time. Have a fantastic day.